40 years ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 40 years ago, I was desperately looking for a place that would be adequate for a couple of three of the rock. We didn't have but 3 or 4 bands in town, and there was no place to play that wasn't a country dance hall or a fraternity-oriented copy band place, and there was no venue for original music. And so I was scouting, and on the spot that Threadgill's downtown sits now, it was a little beer joint where a guy had sense enough to let hippie bands play on Thursday night. I was there on Thursday night with Spencer Perskin of Shiva's Head Band, listening to some of the Lubbock guys, Hub City Movers, and the bathroom was broke. Being a wily former Marine, I went out in the parking lot, and as I experienced the big gee whiz. I saw a big cinder block building with broken windows across the top, and because I had a drafting class at McCallum High School years before, I knew there's got to be one large room behind that wall. I went around and managed to jimmy a lock on a closed up old industrial looking place, and went in and discovered a place that looked like Noah's Ark turned upside down. It was huge, no columns in it, big high ceiling, a stage raised on one end. It was perfect. I had no earthly idea that Elvis had played there 15 years before, when it had been called a sports center. I found the landlord the next day, talked him into letting me start what we called a cultural arts laboratory. We didn't sell beer 40 years ago tonight. You'd think 40 years later a joint would have gone out by now. That's a joint joke.
I got you.
That night, about 700 of us joined at the hip, and we've been trying to create music ever since. And within 6, 8, 10 months of the Armadillo's opening, there were 30 or 40 places in town. Small places doing better than I was doing at the big place. But we persevered for 10 years, and the band that opens tonight, a 3-piece band with Hank Ulrich on guitar, is the hero of the book that I'm trying to finish about Armadillo World Headquarters. Because of Hank Ulrich, you still hear about Armadillo. He was the guy who kept it open. He was very, very resourceful, and he and his daughter will begin here just any minute, and we'll start a celebration that will culminate with a reunion of the Cobras, Paul Ray, Angela Straley, and Denny Freeman back in town after being with Bob Dylan for the last few years. A wonderful musical aggregation, and right now it looks like we're about to shoot a Beatles movie because nobody's in the reserved seats. They're waiting until the last minute to get here. I wish y'all were all here.